Good afternoon. This is Alan Watkins with Technology Transformation Management, or TTM, so we can save you a bit of time in your days. We try to do throughout what we do as a practice. I'm pretty excited. We've been doing a series here about transformation, a lot of it to address the COVID challenges. Today, I am joined by a longtime friend, incredible channel manager, and an organization that started out as Jive and keeps getting more and more exciting. So, Mark Gary, thank you for showing up and joining us today.
Hey, Alan. Well, thank you. I appreciate that introduction, and I appreciate everyone being able to join today. So, again, I've been working with Alan for quite a while. I'm with LogMeIn. So I'll be curious to find out how many of you do and are familiar with LogMeIn, or maybe even doing business with us right now. But what I want to do is I'm going to only spend maybe 30 minutes at the most. I'm going to go through our different products. I'm not going to get into nuts and bolts, but my main goal is to give you a general overview of what LogMeIn is bringing to the market today. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. And by all means, let me just preface it that if you have any questions or anything, please utilize the chat within the GoToWebinar. And Leah or Phil or Alan, any questions come in, let's make it interactive. So I believe in, rather than just going through slide after slide after slide, let's keep it interactive. So if you have a question, we'll address it at that time. Okay, and any other questions you may have, let us know as well. Okay, I guess we'll get started. So as I'd mentioned, I am with LogMeIn, and what I have found is that some people are familiar with LogMeIn, some people are not. Either that, or what I most usually hear is, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you guys did that. I didn't know that was LogMeIn. So LogMeIn was founded in 2003, and we are a top 10 software as a service company in the world. So we have over 4,000 plus employees, over 25 offices across the world, and we have tens of millions of daily users. Now, stepping back as far as 25 offices, that may change with everything that's happened over the last 3 months. We're re-examining how we do business. For the last 6 weeks or so, every employee at LogMeIn has been remote. Every one of our offices have been closed. And what's especially neat about this is you'll see that we're the leaders in unified communications collaboration, identity and access management, customer digital engagement and support. So all of our products, it's all of our own software, but all of our products really help in this new age in terms of people working remotely. So we have embraced it. We haven't lost a beat. And I'll kind of get into some of that as we move along here. So Alan said when I signed up for this webinar, we need to have a couple of slides. Number one, we needed to show our customers, and then we needed to show our award. So to oblige with Alan's request, here's some of our customers, very large enterprise to very small 5-person employee customers. So really across the whole gamut in terms of size of employees and type of customers. This right here is some of our awards, some pretty distinguished awards. I'm especially proud of the Remote Desktop Software Awards that I'll get into in a little bit. Our UCC solutions, and then also the awards we received in our identity management. And I think most of you will be surprised when we do touch base on that. And what we are seeing is that that is becoming more and more popular. And even in some cases, our identity management product is being included and every other product that we propose to our customers. And it's a
Now,
request.
I want to add one more award, Mark, because years ago we had a little challenge where an order got shipped to a single customer site or the customer's main corporate on a pallet of phones. And Mark, without even question, jumps in his car, goes over there, reboxes it. So he goes from Orlando to Tampa, and he will go above and beyond, is what I found along the way the whole time. So from a channel management standpoint, he's been fantastic. Just making sure everything's perfect. Fortunately, so one challenge we've had, and it got fixed immediately. It's pretty awesome. So, Mark, we appreciate that.
Nope, and thank you for bringing that up. And that's the mindset of everyone at LogMeIn. And I'll just also add that that customer is still a customer of ours today. And the CIO is actually at a different company, and he is in the process of coming on with the LogMeIn solution as well. So I appreciate that, Alan. So this right here, I at least wanted to include this. I think most of you have seen a lot of these different stats, but now more than ever, this was put together pre-COVID. But now we can really say, at least even in the left-hand column, it's got to be 100% or 90 to 100% on working remotely, either once a week or half the week. And, if you look also within engaging call centers, working with chatbots, doing everything online, 63%. I think that's low myself. I mean, I would rather do something online through an interactive model versus having to wait to speak to a live person. And then on the right, that has to do with some of our security, again, with the solution I'm going to be talking about, and we'll see some of these same type of data a little later on in the presentation. So the products I'm going to be speaking to you today include what we call Bolt 360 Rescue, which is in our customer engagement line of offerings. The go-to, and I'm sure all of you will be familiar with that once we get to it. And then we also have LastPass and Central. But more importantly, what I like about this slide here is that 1/3 of all LogMeIn employees, and remember, we're 4,000 employees plus strong, are dedicated towards our products. So we continue to have a ton of R&D going into the products and continually update the products. So these are the categories, and I'm going to jump right here. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'm going to jump right into the UCC. And you can see UCC, Unified Communication Collaboration. You can see how much usage we're actually utilizing or being utilized within the world today. Nearly 30 million users, as a matter of fact. Our full UCC collaboration portfolio has recently been rebranded. That is, you'll see at the top of your screen, Go-To. And I'm sure all of you now are realizing, oh yeah, GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar. So those have been around for quite a while. They have had a brand new look, heavy R&D input in those recently. But our full Go-To product line is our UCC product line. And you can see we have, in addition to the meeting and the webinar, we do have Jive. And then we also have something called Go-To-Room, and I'll get into that shortly. So GoToMeeting. And I wanted to have this on here because if you're not familiar with GoToMeeting or maybe haven't used it lately, over the last 18 months, it's come a very long ways. We do compete head-to-head with Zoom, WebEx, and we're right there in the mix with the top ones out there, and we're considered the top video provider in many cases as well. The other thing to at least point out is our GoToMeeting mobile app is the highest rated mobile app in that category. We have about 28 million users per month using GoToMeeting across the world. So rather than going through some professional slides, and then I wanted to put this up here because GoToMeeting and what I thought would be most useful to everyone attending this is GoToMeeting now has their own hub. And within this, every person has access to it. As a user, you have access to your own personal meeting room. You can see what meetings you have upcoming, what meetings you did have, and you can look at all those. But it's very useful in being able to review your meetings, look at the history, look at the stats, and then even look at the recordings and the transcription in that as well. When you join a GoToMeeting, it's very quick. I think one thing that in my experience in joining some of the other platforms out there is they can be slow. So very quick session in terms of people getting on, so they can go through the web or they can actually go through the application. But one of the first screens when you're joining it is you have the ability, you can test everything out, you can test your camera out. Once you're satisfied, or maybe you want to turn your camera off, just say, okay, I'm ready, and then you're input into the meeting. So very useful. This right here, I'll give you an idea again back into the hub room where you can look at stats, look at recordings. You can see when people logged in, logged off, how long they were in there. And the other thing that is really cool is that if you're recording a GoToMeeting, when that meeting is done, shortly after, you'll get a link to that recording. And that recording will also have a transcription of everything that was said. So you can see it will show in here who was saying what. You can see what time it was. Very useful. So one of the things I've recently seen, especially with COVID, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, activity has drastically increased. So some of these typical customers, and I'll point out within the legal environment, I've seen a huge increase in that, in those verticals wanting to be prepared to work better off remotely. But when we show them something like this, that they could have their GoToMeetings, have a meeting, have the video, they may not even be sharing anything, but you will get a transcription. So think as if you're a lawyer, you're charging for your clients, or you need to have a record of it. You're going to have a record with the full video, all the collaboration that took place within that meeting. Another example, my son actually lives in Dallas, and they're expecting the first baby in 4 to 6 weeks or so. And no one can really travel. So we had a baby shower this weekend through GoToMeeting, and that worked like a charm. We had people from California, Florida, here, everywhere in between. But I was also able to record it, so they have that recording of the baby shower as well. But it went very well. Alan, did you have something you wanted to chime in on?
No, we've been using it for everything from personal to, every meeting. The transcript's pretty amazing because often we'll say something that we want to then later put into Word, and having the transcript makes that so much easier than, oh yeah, you should write that out for me, and having it already pretty much done is amazing. So.
Yep. Yeah. Or people having to take notes. So very good point. The other thing that I find especially useful is if you have a GoToMeeting, you set up a meeting, you do have within the app, you can run that meeting from your app. But the other thing is too, is if you're joining a GoToMeeting, someone else's meeting, and maybe you're on the road or whatnot, you have a mobile screen you can turn to. So rather than having maybe hitting the wrong button or whatnot, you can have this screen up when you're mobile. And if you ever do need to mute or unmute, it's kind of hard to not hit the right button in that screen. So I at least wanted to share that with you all, as that's been very beneficial. And I find it very useful when I'm traveling. Okay, so I'm going to move to our hosted voice platform. We're a pure cloud hosted solution within the cloud. And we, 2 years ago of April, purchased a company by the name of Jive Communications. Jive was a company that built their software from the ground up, own proprietary software as well. LogMeIn purchased them, so now you have this hosted voice over IP company with their own software purchased by LogMeIn, and it's all their own software. So it's been a very good relationship, especially with some of the GoToMeeting features and the collaboration on the collaboration side of LogMeIn. So I just wanted to touch base on that, where we've gone, where we're at today. We have about 750,000 customers out there. And one of the things that we've done is, so you've seen GoToMeeting. This right here is the GoToConnect soft phone. So on the left-hand side, you can see if I wanted to make a call, I would click on this. I can chat. I can listen to voicemail, directory. This is even if I have agents for my call center. They can log in, log out of queues and stuff here. But what I wanted to point out is the screen right here that you see. You can see the video camera. When someone purchases a LogMeIn Jive GoToConnect seat, they automatically get all of the GoToMeeting features built into GoToConnect. It's all inclusive. So there's no additional dollars. It's automatically included in there. And when I say automatically included, our philosophy is that every feature that Jive has is all inclusive in the base pricing. So it's all of our own software. We're not selling someone else's solution and paying a licensing fee, but we can, which means that we control the development, but we also can be very competitive in pricing where we need to be as well. The other key thing in regards to the GoToConnect is the visual use of being able to make changes within the hosted voice over IP system. So this is pretty much a drag and drop capabilities to drag anything that I want to call to do. So someone rings in, it's going to hit this schedule, go to an auto attendant. When it's closed, I'm going to hit a night auto attendant. But if I wanted to, I could pull something in, pull in a sound clip, say it was snowing in Atlanta, and say, hey, due to the severe weather, the office is going to be closed, and then have it go to the night auto attendant. But this is a big differentiator that the GoToConnect brings to the table. Okay, and I know I'm moving a little bit fast, but I just want to make sure I'm able to touch base on everything. The next thing is GoToWebinar. And Phil, I know you're on the call here with working with Alan. You're a brand new user, and you're actually, we're utilizing this for the meeting today. You have any feedback as a brand new user with GoToWebinar?
Yeah, hey Mark. So, we experiment with a couple of other meeting platforms when we're trying to host our webinar series, and we just weren't really getting the performance, the level of features. And so I think when we reached out to you, we were trying to find something where we could use a dedicated platform where we could actually, that was user friendly, and we could accomplish all the features and tasks that we were hoping to accomplish. The big one for us was just scheduling out a multi-week webinar. We spent hours, I think, trying to accomplish this with another platform, and really a lack of success. But I think within hours of getting our access to go to webinar, we were able to do that. I think I did it within 30 minutes or less. Something that we'd spent tons of time otherwise.
Yep.
So it's by far the best platform that we've used at TTM for this feature, and been really happy with it. It's been great for us.
Good. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate that. A couple things. So you mentioned that it was very easy to use. So it's all pretty much self-explanatory. You can build your own invite for a webinar. You can determine if you want to have questions, handouts, take a survey within the webinar. You can have emails automatically sent out. So there's so many different functionalities in terms of how you want this to work and options. It's very easy, and it makes it a very professional option as well. And I will say that this is something that really over the last 2 months also has skyrocketed. So as you know, many companies are closed and they're utilizing this for their team meetings. They're using this for large webinars for their end customers. And as you can see, we can actually have up to 3,000 attendees on this. The next one is go to room. So anyone ever see this set up in a conference room before? Or maybe it is in your conference room and maybe you turn around and walk back out if you're planning to do a video conference. So LogMeIn, what we've taken is our go-to meeting software, incorporated it with these different manufacturer systems, and we made it very easy that you can pretty much unbox a brand new system, have it set up and ready to go within 10 minutes in your conference room. And what's nice about it is, again, it works with the go-to meeting software. You can set up things remotely. You can program meetings for ahead of time to be set up on the calendar. But it's very easy to use, and you don't run into, well, is this wire connected to that, and so on. Okay. The last portion, or the identity and access, what I at least wanted to touch base is LastPass and Central. Central, you may or may not be aware, but is a remote access software. So we've seen this with many school districts, many businesses where the employees are now remote, but they do need to have a way to, from their house, log into their work computer and be able to do the work from the house. So that's been very popular over the last couple of months as well. LastPass is our identity and access solution. And I have a couple of slides in here I just wanted to be able to share with you. But so we've all seen these types of numbers, the 40%, 88, 80%. But you think about it, they're saying that there's 191 passwords that the average employee has to keep track of. And many employees are actually utilizing their own type of third-party app to keep track of passwords. And what I said earlier was our LastPass solution is something that's being included with every quote that goes out the door, whether it's a customer looking at hosted voice over IP on our GoToConnect solution, or anything else with the GoToRoom even. So we're actually the #1 leader in this space. We have 17.8 million people are utilizing LastPass, and 4 out of 5 professionals utilize it. And if you're not familiar with it, I would say to at least go online, get the free version of LastPass, try it out, and you'll find that it really is not that expensive. And it really does help the employees within your working environment as well. This right here will just kind of give you an idea as far as some of the things that LastPass does bring. So it does offer MFA, It does have an enterprise for a single sign-on and password manager solution. And then we do have the LastPass identity. Okay, and then the last category is customer engagement. And I wasn't going to spend too much time on this because of our time limit, but we have rescue. So if you have, maybe you have an IT department, or maybe you have a customer service department that you need to reach out, work on your customers' computers, or work on your employees' computers that are remotely, rescue is our solution for that. We've actually come out with a brand new rescue that will also provide similar type solution, but with cameras. So it doesn't have to be maybe a computer, but maybe someone needs some type of camera in a working environment. And then the Bold 360 is our AI product solution, very helpful within a customer care type centers, and they're looking for some type of bot interface to help take some of the load off of their agents. So there you have it. We kind of touched based on most of these products here, not as much on Bolt 360 and Rescue, but if you have any questions, please reach out to Phil, Allen, with anything that you may have, the contact information here. And I'll kind of open it back up as far as any questions you may have. Alan, Phil, anything that I missed or you wanted to point out?
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned earlier, pretty much all your products are built around supporting people remotely or enabling and equipping people. So, I wish I had bought a boatload of stock. I think you guys are definitely able to execute across a wide range of areas for the IT organizations. And one thing I really find refreshing with you guys is how simplistic your pricing model is. If we're doing a UCaaS opportunity, for example, some of the other vendors will have 70 different types of SKUs and product cost, et cetera. And then by the time you add it up, it can be a bit crazy, where yours is a very simple process generally to be able to come up with a budgetary number or an exact number.
Yep. Yeah, and that's one of the key things that we've tried to do across all product lines is really the user interface to make it easy to use, but also in terms of pricing to know what you're getting and what you're paying for. And so you don't have any surprises at the very end.
Yep. Well, great. Well, I appreciate your time today, everybody. We appreciate you attending. We will be doing this again in a couple of weeks, and love to have you guys join us again. Please, we'll be reaching out to each of you in the next day or two, and love to schedule just 15 minutes. Make sure that as we're planning out the next step of these, we're bringing the vendors that you'd like to see and the storyboards that you're facing today to help you guys in out in the market better.
Great. Hey, thank you, Alan, for the opportunity, and I do appreciate everyone being able to attend today. So have a great day, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Mark.